Welcome viewers. Today we're going to talk about tire pressure sensor, adjustment, setting, and then inflating the proper tire pressure, which is very essential. And then we're going to continue going through 3-session video. We start with the tire monitor system. And most of the time we have seen the tire pressure sensor, the monitor system is turned on, and then the tire inflating warning light is blinking or steady. So we're gonna start looking around and you see the tire pressure low, or sometimes the tire pressure is okay. And then but the tire lights, or if you look at it, you don't see the sensor from 1 or 2 or all of the sensor. This is because of certain factor, but first let's see. And then the first thing we start is setting up the tire pressure before start anything, before diagnosing, before going to scan it or setting up the tire pressure. We have to start with the tire pressure. So we don't go through all that if we want to relearn or reset or do that. So whatever car is, most of the time GM and then older and newer GM cars fall into this category. Once we set the tire pressure to the correct level, the tire pressure warning light may goes away. However, if it remains illuminated, there could be an issue with the sensor. It could be the battery inside the sensor, which typically have a lifespan of 7 to 10 years, or the receiver module could be at fault. But in rare case, the dash display could also be at fault. It's not displaying the right amount or the correct amount of tire pressure. So the primary function of the tire pressure sensor is to monitor the air pressure inside the vehicle's tire by continuously measuring pressure and alerting the driver if it falls outside of the predetermined range. TPMS, which we call a tire pressure monitoring sensor, helps ensure optimal tire performance, fuel efficiency, and safety. Maintaining proper tire pressure can extend tire life and reduce the risk of tire blowout or accident caused by underinflating and overinflating tires. So this is very essential. Accident can be caused by underinflated or overinflated tire. So we have to make sure we have the right correct tire pressure in all settings. Overall, tire pressure monitor sensor contributes to the safety of driving and better vehicle maintenance and fuel economy. The likelihood of a faulty sensor or a weak battery is lower in newer vehicles and higher in older vehicles. Regardless, it's always good practice to regularly check tire pressure and ensure it's set to the correct level. Once we determine our tire pressure is low and it need to be checked, the first thing we have to do is how we're going to get the tire, which we need to go to the nearest gas station, or if we have a compressor like this with a different setup and then to set the tire, so we can use that. If we don't have it, another option I'm gonna recommending is having a portable air compressor. This is handy. You can have it around and you can use it to set up the So having this around in a car is very helpful in case of emergency, or if we need to correct our pressure. This could easily inflate it to 35 to 40 psi on any given time for a certain tire. So we can do that. Easy to buy. Amazon or eBay can have it, very cheap, and that's one thing. The other thing, how we're gonna check our tire pressure, there is a reset tool, or we can go too complicated into the system and reset the whole tire pressure system. But before we go too deep into that, using those tire monitor system or using a computer to reset that, the best thing tool we have at hand is this tool. This easily can tell us the tire pressure, and then having it around close by is very helpful. I always have to check this tire pressure with this kind of tool, and either way we can deflate it or inflate it and check the tire pressure easily with this. And there's a lot of other kind of tools we can use to inflate the tire. The next thing we have to do is getting the information. Where are we gonna get the information? How much is the tire pressure? Where we get this information? So open the door and the side of the door or in the body right down the below, you'll find a sticker like this which telling you the tire pressure, the front, the rear, exactly at this location most GM vehicles, or by the side of the door. So this is telling us the tire pressure, which is cold tire pressure when it's cold. So telling us the front, the rear, and the spare, what kind of tire, original size we're using, and what the cold tire pressure. So set your tire pressure at cold, not at hot. So like I show you here, you can use any kind of tool you can easily buy cheaper. And then once you get this information, now you know how to set your tire pressure. Always you go to the tire pressure, remove the cap, and start putting the tire. When you look at the tire, the profile, you see it's kind of below low. Of course, there is a weight load on the lower part of the tire and the upper, but don't assume. Always measure. Don't tell by looking at the tire, because the front engine load would put it down in the front tires and the rear look different profile. So always make sure measuring it the right thing. Measure the tire pressure all around your car. All of them. Use this kind of tools, easy to check, and then find out what the tire pressure is or adjust to it. So next time when we go to talk about it, we're gonna see all this kind of TPM sensor, what's happened to the battery, how old is it, how we're gonna replace it, and what we're gonna do to reset it. If that tire pressure check didn't solve the issue and the light is still on, maybe it could be the sensor. So the next thing, there's a way to find out which sensor is bad and what you're gonna do based on the life and the age of the tire pressure monitor sensor. Could be the battery that goes bad. And then there are different setup of different kind of tire pressure monitor sensors. You need different kind of setup, but some of them I'll show you, you can do it at home by hand. You can easily press and then program and reset your tire pressure monitor. The second thing you don't have to forget is every time a tire rotation was done, the front tire could go to the rear and the rear tires come to the front, and then it's telling you the rear tire is low, you put on the rear, but it's not. After every rotation, after deflating tires or repairing the tire for a patch or hole or something, once removed and moved to the next place, every time we have to reset. This sensor have this location, okay, tell you where this is located. Most GM recommend this SA Delco tire monitor sensor, and then you can find it in different price. Each sensor could cost $5 to $60, $80 each. So know exactly what kind of tire pressure monitor sensor you need to buy. There are RF signal, which is radio frequency signal, sending to them, and each one is different. So you may find a lot of different kind of sensor in the market, but find out exactly what fit for your car. Thanks for watching. On the next video, we're gonna see how to set up for winter and cold weather, and then summer hot weather setup. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe, share, and like.